Alrighty. Look what we got in for Defense University. Um, Talking to the guys over at Northstar, and they were wondering, hey, what's going on with our loop detectors? How come we ain't getting them up in there? And to be honest with you, we just had never talked. So they were kind enough to send some of their loop detectors. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know them like the back of my hand, but we figured we'd go through a couple of them and take a look to see what they got. And let's take a look at this. The MP2ES, this bad boy. Oh, hey, this pops on now. If you ask me, that looks like it's compatible with today's modern operators. So I think I know what that goes to, but I'll let you figure that one out for yourself. 10 levels of sensitivity, digital bar graph, easy tune technology. Can't go wrong there. Let's see what else we got. MP2. Let's see if we got that bad boy up here. NP2 the 2. You know what I do. Huh. Interesting. So let's take a look at this MP2 right here. Let's see. Dual channel. So that means it's got 2 relays. Can you guys off the top of your head think of when you need 2 relays? You're going to get 10 seconds from this point right now, and I'll tell you the answer. So this looks like a harness type plug-in loop detector, all plastic. Let's see what voltages are, if it's got it listed on there. Nope, don't have it listed on there. It looks like it's 240 volts, 120 volts, or 12 to 24 volts. And this one is the 12 to 24 volt AC or DC. So that's pretty cool. I do kind of like how these knobs are kind of big and detinted as opposed to having to use a screwdriver. But it looks like you might be able to actually still get a regular screwdriver down in there as well too. I doubt that that's what their intention was, considering that it's plastic. Let me see. Let me look at the coloring on this. Oh, they don't go by color, which I kind of like and I kind of don't like. I mean, who cares what color the insulation is? The electrons still flow just the same, but it's nice when you're putting on a harness, if you've ever put one of the harnesses on the back of this, to actually have it color coded. So I don't know if that's their intention or not their intention. But it looks like this is a sticker, so possibly they could change that, and then you would have, blue and yellow as your relay 1, and your brown and gray for your loop, and then black and white for your power, and then I think it's violet and something else for purple for your relay 2. So looks like a pretty self-explanatory loop detector. Put these back in the box. That way, try to get these in for the class coming up here in a couple of months, but don't know if we'll get them in next week's class, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see what we got here. We got, just says 12 to 24 volt AC DC. So let's see what this is. Is this another MP2? Yeah, another MP2. So maybe one's a different version. Oh, so that one that we just looked at was probably MP22. So MP2 squared. I called it 22, not knowing that that's actually what they would call it, but that is what they call it. So here's a single channel version of that, and it looks like same thing with the labeling on the side. It's not, oh no, this one does have color. I see it now. So does this one have color? And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the harnesses, when you get them, you can do like a plug-in DIN rail harness, and those don't have any wires connected to them. And see, that one doesn't have the color code on it. This is what I'm talking about. If you look next to, let's just look at number 1, and it says Supply Plus, so that's hot power, that's your black. And if you look at 1 here, it just says Supply Plus, but without a color. So it'd be nice to have the colors on there. I don't mean to, go down that route, but I do like to have the colors on there. Rainbow style. All right, so this is the one that I found the most interesting, which we were when we were talking about it. So I'll save it for the last. And what was this? That was the MP2 Plus. And let's see what this bad boy is. So they got different styles for different loop detectors. Not sure if you guys are aware of this, but these guys designed the loop detectors and loop rack for the All-O-Matic, the new design. So this one's actually pretty interesting. Let me see what model it is. I already know what it does. MP2LM. So MP2LM. So plug in with LiftMaster operators is what it says. 4 sensitivities, 4 frequencies, wrong voltage. But here's one of the things that I like about this. I'm gonna have to actually look at the spec sheet. If I'm thinking correctly, oh, it doesn't have it on the sheet. Compatible, force, wrong voltage. Is this? I think that's another relay right there. I had to take a look at it, but this is the MP2 LM. So this, I'm almost positive that this is another relay plug-in where it actually comes out the front. But if that's the case, why wouldn't they put it on the website? And then their spec sheet, let's see, wrong voltage protection and automatic sensitivity boost, 5 milliamps nominal, so that's the low current draw, selectable presence at times, sensitivity, frequency, front panel reset performs a hard reset, output detects fail secure, incorrect voltage supplies to the unit will not result in damage. The unit will simply not operate until the voltage is supplied. I'm curious how they do that. They must have some kind of thermal protection, like a PTC type thing. But I'm wondering, output connector. Maybe this is just one relay. I thought this was a second relay. Maybe that's what that actually is. Loop, not used, not used. Yeah, so that's just an output for the relay that you'll plug into, let's say, exit, shadow, or what would be the other one? Reverse. So interesting. I guess that's just a design thing that they did for those particular gate operators. That's why it's called LM. These boxes are hard to get open, but I do like how small these boxes are. They make them a lot easier to stock in your truck. Oh, this one's kind of cool. I like this footprint. I never used these footprints before just because, to be honest with you, I'm old school. But this is probably what we'll end up putting in our Patriot. This is the MP2 ESL. So we'll mount it up against the wall of the Patriot housing, and then we'll use this as a loop detector for that. But same thing, force selectable, sensitivities, frequencies, wrong voltage protection, which is very interesting. I'm curious how they do that. And then you can see the nice big Phoenix connector. This is cool. We teach you, not teach you, but we show you the proper way to actually connect wire into these, and then show you how to test to make sure that it's in there good visually and physically. So that'll go in our Patriot gate operator. It's a low current draw, so it's perfect for solar applications, even though ours is going to be most likely AC, but because we'll have it inside most of the time, so we want the battery to be charged if we ever have to go to use it. All right, so this is the MP2 ES. That looks like, let's see, MP2 ES, compatible with many of today's gate operators. So I can't remember what, oh, I know what that is. That's like a Viking FAAC loop rack. That's what that is. I'm almost positive. Am I? Is that right? I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. But they don't have it listed on their website, probably because it's works for a lot of different gate operators. 4 sensitivity levels, 4 frequencies. I do like 4 frequencies over 3. Do you really need it? No, but sometimes you like to get freaky and get that 4th frequency on. So if you did have, if you tested your inductance and you were to see that the two loops were close together in inductance, what you might find is that it's going to have similar frequency, so you might want to separate them further. So most likely, most of you guys aren't actually out there testing inductance, but if you did, you would have the ability to set the two loops that were close together far apart in frequency, one low, one high, and then your loops that are far away from each other, you could set those to low and then medium because they would be closer in frequency. And keep in mind, there are a lot of things that affect the inductance of a loop, which then affects the frequency as well too, which is the well, does it affect the frequency? Yes. So if I'm correct, it does affect the frequency as well too. But you have the permeability of the material, you have the size, you have the home run, you have the material itself, copper, tin copper, you have the insulation. For the most part, none of that stuff really matters because people like this design their loops, loop detectors, to where they actually have such a broad range of 20 to 2,000 microhenries. Those types of small characteristics of a circuit may affect it very, very little. But they do affect it. So that's why you have to have different frequencies. So here's what I really wanted to see, and I got a feeling that this is going to go on one of our displays mighty quick. This bad boy right here is, see, it's so durable, man. It just shakes the camera, dude. That's how much weight it's got to it, Playboy. So this is the MP3, and when you get old, you make noises like that, or you make your words really long. And all right, so this one is very, 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 very cool looking, and the idea of it was very, 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 very cool as well too. So this is a direct plug into an Automatic or a Viking operator that has these similar loop racks. And if I remember correctly, if my pinouts are correct, this is exactly how even the Northstar designed Automatic loop racks are as well too. So what this basically is a loop rack and 3 loop detectors. So that is pretty insane in itself. Now, I will admit, when I first looked at this, I was like, well, all this stuff is exposed and a lot of that stuff is vertical, but you can see a shine to it, so that probably has a considerable amount of clear conformal coating. I would probably mount this vertical if I had the chance, and I would definitely see what I could do to mount it inside the housing, just as a practical standpoint. But tell me this, how often are you going to be able to go boop, boop, plug loops that are existing, plug into your operator housing, and 3 loops detectors ready to go. Tune them, pow, 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 pickety, pow, 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 pow. Tune them, and then the next thing you know, you are good to go with 3 loop detectors and a loop rack all in one unit. So that in itself is actually pretty dang cool. I haven't tested these out, but we're going to test them out here in the school and see how they do. That's probably what we'll end up doing, is putting them on an Automatic, and let's see what they do. But having 3 loop detectors in on this loop rack, that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. It's direct replacement for that. And what I was going to say was, when I was talking to the guys over at Northstar, what they said about the cost of this, which you could call controlled products, you could call SAS, you could call automatic gate and equipment supply, electronic entry distributors, and a bunch of other people that deal in these products. And you could check out what your cost is. But this is approximately the cost of 2 detectors. but it's also got the loop rack. So if you're doing a bunch of swingers out there, this is a pretty interesting little setup, if you ask me. Even carrying one of these on your truck, although that would be a stretch for cost purposes, just to be able to easily go, is it the loop rack? Is it the loops? I don't know. Mr. Jones, pow, pickety pow, boom, boom. Which one's, where's the ball at? Is it under 1 or is it under 2 or is it under 3? Just to be able to slap it in there for diagnostic purposes. I got a loop detector that I'm dealing with right now, that we're swapping out to the harness tomorrow if we have problems, but we've already swapped out the loop detector, and then the next thing is going to be the wiring, whereas this would take 2 of those and knock them out the box, even if it were just for test purposes. Let's say that you do have regular plug-in loop detectors, like I was showing you on those other ones. Let's say you do have regular plug-in loop detectors. Well, this right here satisfies the loop rack and the detectors and gets you a whole nother, if you will, set of tests just by having this in there by itself, and may be able to help diagnose the problem. Now, my own personal opinion is if I was that concerned and it was more than 5 minutes away from the shop, I would probably actually use the new terminal connectors, sometimes called Phoenix connectors, and make new connections as well too. And sometimes you would be surprised how much of the problem is actually in the termination point. You know, you got to figure that the majority of failures in Ethernet cable, or actually in Cat5 cable, were found to be within the last 3 feet of the cable. So that's interesting, something that we can apply to the access control world as well too, because it's where we touch it. That's the problem. So hopefully that's in focus, because my eyesight is getting worse and worse. All right, well, Northstar, I appreciate it. This one's definitely going to go on an All-O-Matic, and the other one's definitely going to go on our Patriot, and we'll have the other ones for test when we're diagnosing stuff. Thank you, guys.